many of you might remember, I shared a story last year of a lady named Jusilia who had sores on her feet, and her family wanted her to go to the witch doctor. Her feet were completely opened, and she had just gotten saved, and so she had chosen not to go to the witch doctor, and she decided to come to the clinic, and we, did her bandaging and all of her stuff, her dressings, and God miraculously healed her. Well, this summer, she got really sick again, and after I walked through that experience with her, and I'm going to tell you the experience in a minute, I really feel like God gave me this sermon that I'm going to share with you guys today after walking this experience with her. So she takes care of our widows there at we have a widow's home, and so she's the one that takes care of our widows. And I had gotten a call from one of the missionaries that lives there in the community, and she said, Kasey, Jusilia is really sick, we don't know what's going on. She says she's really weak, can you go up and check on her? So I went up and checked on her, and gave her what I thought she needed. And then I got a phone call about 4 days later, and they said that she was at the hospital. And then she came back, they sent her back from the hospital, and that's when the missionary called me in, and she said, she's not well, can you please come and see her? So I went and saw her, and they said, they've sent her back from the hospital, they've sent her back to die. And she has drug-resistant TB, and she's not gonna make it. So at that point, if you remember, I said that her family was into witchcraft and witch doctors. At that point, they said to her, Jusilia, we will take care of you, we will help you if you will renounce God and you will go to the witch doctors. She chose not to. I was there when her father was yelling at her on the phone. And she just got worse and worse, and we were trying to help her. And at that point, her father called her up, called up her landlord and told her what was going on, and told her, if you help my daughter, if you continue to rent to my daughter, I'm going to curse you. So her landlord kicked her out, and I got a phone call again, and they said, I don't know what to do, Jusilia has no strength. She's going to die, and now they've kicked her out. So I went with the missionary, found her a different house, and we got her into another house, we got her set up. Of course, she's still not doing well. We're taking her to TB treatments to get injections, and things aren't looking good. Her dad called her up again, called up their new landlord and said, I'm telling you, if you help her, I'm going to curse you. The landlord kicked her out again. Her sisters and her family came to her and they said, if you will renounce God, we will help you. But if you don't renounce God, then we will not help you, we're going to curse you. They told her, then her neighbors were trying to help her. And then her neighbors stopped helping her. We didn't know what was going on because we had the neighbors helping her, taking her to the hospital and stuff, getting her TB injections. And we found out that it was because her family threatened to curse them. And they said, we're going to curse you. So they stopped helping her. So once again, I got called and she got really bad. And I remember going up there to the house and her breathing was really, really slow. And I said to the missionary, she has 3 daughters, Jusilia has 3 daughters. And I said to the missionary that I was with, that was translating for me, I said, it doesn't look good. I said, I don't know what else to do. We're going to have to take her back to the hospital. The problem was the hospital kept sending her back home because they didn't want to help her because she had other illnesses just besides TB. And so for them, they were just going to write her off. So we would send her to the hospital, they refused to help her, they would send her back to us. So I said to her, we need to take her to the hospital. We sent her to the hospital, they only kept her overnight and sent her back. And then I went back in and they called me and they said, she's not doing good, what are we going to do? And at that point, I met with the missionary. Of course, her family was on the phone telling her, if you will renounce God and you'll go to the witch doctors, we'll give you the money you need, we'll help you, you'll be fine, we'll take care of you, you can move in with us. And every single time she was so strong. And she would say, no, I'm going to stand with God. And her family, I remember standing there in the room with her father yelling at her, telling her this. And she's like throwing up and vomiting and her breathing was so slow. And I remember thinking, God, where are you? Like, she's holding on to you for so much. And where are you? And then it came to the point where I didn't think she was going to make it. And I said to the missionary, I said, listen, you got to call in her 3 daughters. And I said to Jusilia, we're taking you to the hospital. But I need you to tell your girls goodbye because I don't think you're going to see them again. And I watched Jusilia stand there and sob. And she realized, too, that unless God touched her, she wasn't going to make it. And I watched her 3 little girls that were like 4, 6, and 10 come in, each one of them, and sob and sob. And watched Jusilia, who had no strength, I was actually holding her up so she could hug her daughters, cry and tell him goodbye. And I said, Cecilia, I've got to take you to the hospital. And she was like, please just let me stay here. Let me stay here with my family. Let me just die here. And I said, Cecilia, I can't do that to you. You have to go. So she said goodbye to her daughters, and I actually had to leave to go to South Africa after I took her to the hospital because of my visa issues. I left for South Africa, and I honestly thought when I came back that I was going to have a message saying that she had passed away. God miraculously touched her, and within that week they sent her back from the hospital, and I believe that God met her there in the hospital. God miraculously touched her. She's now back working in the widow's home, totally fine. God has touched her for TB. And God's healed the TB. She had to go in for injections for 30 days. But as I was walking through that journey with her, I was really doing a lot of self-reflection. And I was thinking, what would I have done? I would hope that every single one of us would have been like, oh, of course, I would stand up for God. Who cares if my family's cursing me? Who cares if they've kicked me out of my house twice? Who cares if they're telling their neighbors they can't take care of me? Who cares? I would stand for God. But I remember standing there being in self-reflection and thinking, man, if that was me, what would I have done? Everyone that I loved was rejecting me. Everybody that I had loved wouldn't take care of me. I was in the worst place in my life and they wouldn't take care of me. And so I believe God gave me this message that I want to share with you today. If you have your Bibles, you can open up to Luke chapter 8. Luke chapter 8, verses 40 through 48. Luke chapter 8, verses 40 says, Now when Jesus returned, a crowd welcomed him, for they were all expecting him. Then a man named Jairus, a ruler of the synagogue, came and fell at Jesus' feet, pleading with him to come to his house, because his only daughter, a girl of about 12, was dying. And as Jesus was on his way, the crowds almost crushed him, and a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years, but no one could heal her. She came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak, and immediately her bleeding stopped. Who touched me? Jesus asked. When they all denied it, Peter said, Master, the people are crowding and pressing against you. But Jesus said, Someone has touched me. I know that power has gone out from me. Then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet. In the presence of all the people, she told why she had touched him and how she had been instantly healed. Then he said to her, Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace. I've entitled my thoughts today, What's Your Last Price? What's your last price is a phrase that we use all the time in Mozambique. Mozambique is a bartering country, so whether you're buying vegetables on the side of the street up to, electronics, whatever it is that you buy, you go there and you barter. So you go and you ask how much it is, and then they'll name their price, and you go down, and you go back and forth and back and forth, and finally when you get to the end of it, you say to them, well, what's your last price? And that's the last sentence you say to them is, what's your last price? And then they name the last price, so they're going to go down, they're not going to go down anymore. And then you have to choose if whether the item that you're wanting is worth that cost, if whether the thing has enough worth to you that you're going to willing to pay that price. And in our story, back to Luke, in our story from Luke, to give you some background knowledge, this lady was under the Levitical law because Jesus had not died yet, so she was still under the Levitical law. So when you go back to Leviticus chapter 15, we see that this woman was considered unclean because she had this issue of blood. So which meant that she was separated from her family. So she had been separated from her family for over 12 years. She was unable to cook or have a normal life because anything that she would have done or tried to do would have deemed everything else unclean. So basically she had to live a life alone, live a life in the midst of a society that she could not be a part of. And she grew worse. The scriptures tell us that she had spent all the money that she had, and she still wasn't getting better. We see that from scripture, that she had drained all her finances, and that she was separated from her family and her society. And we know that if she would have gone, she knew that if she would have gone into the society and gone to where Jesus was, most likely she was going to risk being stoned. Because everybody there had known her and knew who she was. She knew that she was an outcast because of the issue that she had, the sickness that she had. But she chose that she was willing to break the condition of tradition so that her condition could be healed. Everyone knew who she was. Everyone saw her coming. She knew that once she started coming through the crowd, everybody would start talking about it. They'd be like, that's the woman that has that problem. What's she doing here? Why does she think she can come here? You know? But she was willing to press through. She was willing to have an encounter with Jesus, a man that she had only heard about, a man that she decided to have faith in, not knowing that he could truly touch her, and he could truly heal her, but she had heard that he was the healer, and she was willing to allow her pride to be put down so that she could be touched by Jesus. And as I was thinking about this scripture, one thing really stood out to me. Oh, sorry, I see that this woman was a rebel, but she was a rebel with a cause. Because no matter what she faced, no matter what the doctor's reports she had received, no matter how many, nothing we can do for you is going to help you, she had heard. She chose that she was going to press through. Verse 42 shows that she pressed past the crowds of people. She made a conscious decision that she would not allow the judgment that they were going to cast upon her to stop her from reaching what she thought would be her destiny in Jesus. She was willing to pay whatever the price to be able to touch Jesus and encounter him. And that's what I call drastic faith. And I believe that God calls each and every single one of us to live a life of drastic faith. To live a life that no matter what the cost, no matter what other people are going to say about us, no matter if nobody else is going to understand why we make the decision that we make to serve God, God's calling us to live a life of drastic faith. Just like the woman with the issue of blood, just like Drusilla in Mozambique, who chose that even if my family forsakes me, I'm still going to serve God. I believe that God asks us the question, are you going to serve me no matter the cost? Are you going to still serve me when you pray and I don't answer right away? Are you still going to serve me when your family betrays you? Are you still going to serve me when you pray and you don't get the answers you want? And I believe we have to ask ourselves the question, what is our last price? What is it that we say, you know what, God? I'll only go so far. But at that, I can't go anymore. And God's asking each one of us to lay down that preconceived idea of fears and the things of what our family and people are going to say about us, but live a life of drastic faith. I'm sure many of us have questions for God. So many things in this life don't make sense. We all have very deep and personal questions that defy human answers. We want to know why things happen the way they do. Why couldn't things have happened some other way? You know, I prayed. Where was God? But oftentimes, obedience to God is often contrary to what common sense would suggest. By definition, faith makes us sure of what we hope for and gives us proof of what we cannot see. Philip Yancey says, faith means believing in advance what others would make sense in reverse. By faith, we see what's invisible to others, and by faith, we believe in advance those things that right now make no sense, but one day will make perfect sense, because we will view them in reverse. The world says seeing is believing, but God says believing is seeing. We believe, therefore we see. And sometimes what God is asking of us only makes sense to us. Other people aren't always going to agree with you. Other people are going to ask you a lot of questions. And sometimes people aren't going to understand the relationship you have with God. And sometimes people are going to call you radical. And sometimes people are going to say, don't you think you're taking this God thing too far? But I'm telling you, God desires a relationship of radical faith. I'm sure many of us, every single one of us, wants to experience a great encounter with God. Want to experience, to see God do the miraculous, but oftentimes that it requires us to be able to be willing to step out of the boat, to be willing to put all of our preconceived ideas aside, to put it aside like the lady did with the issue of blood, saying, I don't care what people are going to say. I don't care if it's going to cost me everything, my reputation, my everything. I'm willing to serve God no matter the cost. And I believe that's something that God wants all of us to realize, is that we always say, God, show us miracles. Use me in the miraculous. Use me in ways, I want to encounter you. But that also requires a part of us. We have to be willing to allow God to use us. We have to be willing to do things that seem abnormal, to believe God for things that aren't always easy to believe for. Serving God has a cost. Being radical has a cost. Seeing God do the impossible will have a cost. And the question is, are you willing to pay the cost? No matter what the cost is. Not going just so far and saying, God, this cost me too much. I can't do this anymore. But are you willing to pay the cost, no matter what it is? When is your cap? At what point do you say to God, this is too much, I can't handle it. I can't handle the pain. I can't handle it, nobody understands where I'm coming from. I can't handle that I'm not being supported by the people I love. Serving God will cost you. To have an encounter with God will cost you. And I believe the challenge that God has laid upon my heart for all of us, myself included, is being willing to live a life of radical faith. No matter what it looks like. No matter if we don't understand. No matter if we're not supported. But knowing that God knows what's best. That God is the God of the impossible. And that He will walk you through it. You might not see answers the way you thought you were going to see answers. But that can't be what you stand upon and say, you know what, I can't trust God anymore. I can't put my faith in God. We have to be willing to serve God, to live a life of radical. If you truly want to be used by God, you need to be willing to be totally unabandoned and totally surrendered to God.